Hello, bone lovers. My name is Natasa Sarkic. I am from Aita Bioarchaeology team and I'm PhD in bioarchaeology. So today I'm going to share my experience of surviving PhD as a part of this a small series of experiences that we are going to share with you of several members of Aita Bioarchaeology. We'll talk about how they manage to accomplish their PhD, what was their what were the main obstacles, what were the problems they and struggles they had in order to to some of you that are thinking, should I start my PhD or not? Maybe give them some idea of how it really looks like, and also for those one of you who are already in doing it, also to realize that these problems are real, these problems are common, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that we have to talk and talk and talk. And so I will kind of do interview with myself, reading the questions that I usually ask the others. What was the topic of your PhD? My PhD was about female monastic population in Spain and Portugal. That was a topic that I'm still very, very passionate about. It's something that I really like, that I'm really interested in. So in a way, like learning about that, being able to go in that, it was something that I really I really wanted, and I was really happy about the opportunity. How long it took you to finish? It took me 4 years officially, but not because I'm like super well organized or anything like that. No, it was because I couldn't prolong it anymore. Otherwise, if I had opportunity to do it, if I had few years more, I would probably do it. Like, definitely I would take more time to finish. Did you work while accomplishing PhD? Yes, I was working on several projects, and I think that at this point I should maybe tell you the whole story, because I'm a really good example of how things should not be done. And so I'm from Serbia, but I did my master thesis in Madrid, which is already making things a little bit more complicated because you don't have your circle of support, like your friends from childhood. You don't have your parents. You have to rent a flat. You're learning new languages. You're talking, using, and writing in a new language. So all of these were already like kind of stressful situation. Wow, now when I think of it, and back then I was just like super excited about my life. But so yeah, when I finished the master thesis, I got the opportunity to start PhD for free, without any kind of deadlines. So I was thinking, okay, I mean, I can I can maybe start this, I can apply, but as I don't have deadline, I will probably do a PhD at a certain point when I'm more like relaxed in my life, when I'm more financially stable, when I get a grant or something. So I started it, but without really realizing that like, okay, it's for some future project. But then after 2 years, so after like and a half of it, they changed the rules, and now I had to finish it until 2017. So I had only 2 years to finish it, and 2 years already left. So I was really like worried and thinking like, okay, should I just, should I continue or not? Should I give a try? And at that time, I was in the university, but working on a different project. So it was like, okay, I still have to, have to keep those jobs because this is what it's paying my rent. But on the other hand, I have to finish this as soon as possible, and in the same time, okay, I was there on a lab, so there will be always a student on the master that are there on the master that need my help, I need help about a laboratory, or laboratory may be very full, so you cannot really concentrate. So I would go to lab every Saturday, Sunday, in Christmas, whatever, Easter, like every holiday. So that means I had no free time and no private life at all. So like everything was postponed, like after thesis. And so yes, it was like non-stop working. And at a certain point when I realized that I finished with lab after a year and a half, and then I knew that I really had to now just to write as much as possible, and that writing will be really hard. I couldn't keep parallel working on some jobs and writing, so I quit. I left Madrid. I went back to Serbia, and I went to house in a countryside that is like a family house that is in the middle of nowhere. There is really nobody around except one old lady, but you don't have bars, you don't have like cities far away. And I was just there. I was there writing for 6 months, and I had very, very strict routine for every day. And it was like waking up, having breakfast, start writing. Then I would like have a break for lunch, 1 hour of walk, and that hour of walk was definitely the best thing I could do for my mental health, because I wouldn't take a phone or anything. I was just there with my dog, walking through beautiful nature, like relaxing a little bit from the screen time, getting new ideas, or just staring in a horizon. And then I would go back. I had another hours of like 4 hours of work, and then I would do sport. And sport was the second best thing I could do for myself, because I was really at that moment I was really into a body pump, and it was really like, it was so good to sweat everything, sweat the stress away, and like, feeling also strong in our body, as you're like, you're all the day sitting and your spine is horrible and all that. So you're like giving some, like stretching and exercises, so I could actually continue on this. And also like, it's really, how sport is good for your mental health as well, because it's like releasing a lot of hormones that otherwise you would just like, that is helping you, your body cope with the stress. But the problem was these habits were healthy and good, but I didn't have any social life. I haven't seen my friends in months. I didn't go out. I was literally just like doing the same thing over and over again. So except there was like, I had like, when the room was looking at one tree, and I started writing my thesis in January and finished in June. So I was always, like this moment when you just, you got blocked, you cannot continue, you don't have ideas. I would stare through the window at this tree. And actually, I was looking how it's like there was a snow on the tree, and then the snow melted, then started little leaves showing up, then it was blossoming, and then the big leaves. So this was the only thing that was actually giving me idea that time is passing, because otherwise everything was like one enormously long and exact the same day. So this was something that was really like, what was the biggest obstacle in this process? Well, the biggest obstacle was that I didn't have really any like clear plan of what I'm doing. It was like everything was so chaotic, and then I started and I had to rush and everything. So it was like really no clear idea, no planning, and in a way this was something that was really giving me a lot of stress, because I felt like I'm, like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'll be able to finish. I don't know, like you don't have this feeling of control that is so important in these stressful moments. But I didn't think of I didn't wanted to give up. I was like quite sure that I want to finish this. When I decided that I'm doing it, I will finish. I will give all I can to finish. but I can realize it was not the healthiest option. So the next question is that have you felt any psychological problems such as anxiety, depression, cabin fever, and so on? Well, I completely lost all social skills. That was so crazy. Once when I finally finished and I sent the thesis for reading, I went out. I remember that because there was a lot of people. It was a promotion of some compilation. It was full of my friends that I haven't seen in months, and I was not able to talk. I didn't know, I didn't have any topic to talk about. I was not able to have a normal conversation. All I could talk about were nuns and skeletons and diseases, but I was not able to have normal conversation, and I was so stressed seeing so much people, and it seems like all of them had like so many things happening in those months that they were telling me about, and I was like, I don't know, I felt like I was frozen for all that time. I had nothing to say, and it was really weird for me to be surrounded with people. But that was not the worst. Okay, in few days you're back to your normal self. But the worst thing came later. And 2 or 3 years after that, I got such a severe burnout. And until it didn't start, I really didn't know what burnout is. And of course, I heard about that. I knew the term, but I thought that burnout is just like when you're like really extremely tired and very like exhausted. So maybe somebody who desperately need vacation, something like that. But burnout is actually a different thing. Burnout is that you're so exhausted that it comes to the level that you've been under so much stress that your mind and body just collapse. It cannot go any further, and you cannot motivate yourself to do anything anymore. And when I was trying to, like go back and see when it started, when I start feeling that, what's the root of that sensation, I realized it was during the PhD actually, and after that, it was not a problem that I did this way, although it was a problem that I sacrificed too much, and I didn't give myself time to recover. Because after defense, like I almost immediately went back to work. So if you use all your resources, all your energy, all your mind, all your willpower, everything to reach one goal, and you reach it, and if you do it well, then you have to give yourself time to relax, time to recover, because you don't have any strength left, you don't have anything left, like your mental capacity, your body is like, it's like, like you're using those stress hormones that are made that surviving like extremely situation, and this becomes your normal, and it's completely unhealthy. So instead of taking a good break after that, giving myself like some kind of reward, being like, yes, you made it. Now, like giving yourself and your body time to recover, to realize that the danger is finished, that you now can go back to your normal self, rediscover your old hobbies, reconnect with people. I just continue working the same way, and that after it's cost me a lot. So the last question in life: if I could go back in time, what would you change? Everything. Except the topic of thesis that I was really happy with. I would do everything differently. First of all, I would not start PhD without funding, that's for sure. because this is something that is allowing you to focus only on that and not being obliged to do so many things in the same time. And I would do much better planning. I would search for a really good supportive supervisor. I would make the circle of friends that are in the same situation, that we can be like a psychological support to each other, like we did later in some situation. Because no matter how your friends that are love you outside, that are outside of academia, sometimes they cannot understand you that well. So you really need somebody who is also in the same situation, or who was in the same situation, so to give you this kind of support, because it's really, really important that somebody can really understand what you're going through. And I would definitely I would select to go to, I would go to therapy for sure during this process. Now I've been like, now I'm going for 2 years in the therapy, learning still, to balance, trying to work less, trying to spend more time in nature, trying to spend more time with the people that are dear to me, having more hobbies, having more free time. But it's still kind of hard, because if you're passionate about your work, at a certain point, it becomes so much of your identity that you are really, that's like the most important thing for you, and then you start forgetting or sacrificing other things, and it's not good. So yes, it was a hard lesson to learn, but I think I learned it, and I wouldn't make the same mistake. So this was my experience of how I survived my PhD. If you have any questions or comments, you can write us or drop the comment down. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next week.